Now, how do you actually create a calorie deficit for fat loss? First question you have to ask yourself is, what is a calorie deficit? Well, a calorie deficit is getting calories out higher than calories in. Calories inside is pretty simple. It's the food and the liquid that you ingest into your body. The ones that people tend to forget about is the sauces, the syrups, the coffee creamers, oil spray that says 0 calories but actually has calories. Every second you spray is about 15 calories. Cooking oils that you use, and then condiments as well. Don't forget about those. Alcohol as well, beer, all has calories. Calories out, now that one's a little more complicated, and I'm going to break it down super simple. But the 4 things that affect calories out is your basal metabolic rate, your TEF, which is the thermic effect of food, your NEAT, non-exercise activity thermogenesis, and EAT, exercise activity thermogenesis. What does that all that mean in plain English? Well, basal metabolic rate is how many calories you burn at rest. Imagine you wake up, you did nothing, you laid in bed, you didn't even eat food, you did not do jack throughout the rest of the day. That's how many calories you burn at rest. 60% of the calories that you burn throughout the day come from your basal metabolic rate. So it's super important to keep that high, because as you see, exercise only accounts for 15% of the calories that you burn. A lot of people are like, hey, let me stop doing strength training. Let me do a bunch of exercise throughout the day. That way I can lose fat. You're completely forgetting about your basal metabolic rate, which accounts for 60% of the calories you burn. So you want to keep that high, and we'll get into how you can keep that high. Thermic effect of food, which is the energy it takes to break down food into its component parts throughout your digestive system so your body can actually absorb it. Unfortunately, you cannot eat steak and steak just pass through and steak just goes straight into your muscles. You have to break down steak into its component parts, into the amino acids that feed throughout the rest of your body. So it takes energy for that process to happen. NEAT is non-exercise activity. So any activity that's not planned. Wife is mad at you, tells you to go get the mail because you haven't got the mail, or go take the trash out. For you to go step outside the house and take the trash out, you expend energy doing that. When you're cooking food, it takes energy for you to do that. When you're sitting down and working or recording a video like I'm doing right now, it takes energy for me to do that. So this is all activity. That accounts for total daily caloric burn. About 15% of your daily calories come from this. About 15% of your daily calories come from planned exercise. So cardio, weightlifting, you structuring time out of your day to go and exercise. About 15% of your calories come from there. Cool. Now, how do you actually do that? What are actionable tips that you can do in your own life right now to make that happen? Well, when it comes to eating less, decreasing the amount of calories going in, well, you eat and drink less calories. Sounds pretty simple, but what are the best tips in order to do that? 80 to 90% of your calories should be coming from single ingredient whole foods. So this is like lean proteins, fish, poultry, dairy, eggs, egg whites. I could go on and on, but foods that don't have an ingredient label, right? Because you don't need an ingredient label for a banana, because the only thing inside the banana is the banana. It's not banana, artificial sweeteners, soy lecithin, guar gum, added sugars, right? It's just a banana. So when you look throughout your cart, when you're grocery shopping, 80 to 90% should be single ingredient whole foods. Maybe like 2 or 3 ingredients in the food is completely fine. Sometimes it's like pasta and they have like an emulsifier mixed in there. It's not a big deal. What you want to avoid is the highly processed foods that have multiple ingredients on the ingredient label. Less, if any, liquid calories. Your majority focus when it comes to weight loss is removing the liquid calories. So whether it's like a Starbucks caramel macchiato, or a high calorie iced tea, or your energy drinks that have a bunch of sugar, soda that has a bunch of sugar, Gatorade, you want to remove these because these are empty calories. They really don't make you feel full. They don't give you a whole lot of energy. They might give you a quick energy and then you crash right after. Besides giving you that enjoyment that people get from drinking liquid calories, if you want to lose weight and you want to be successful with it, liquid calories are going to be a huge tip to cut out. Switching from fatty meats to leaner meats. This makes your diet not even feel like a diet, because instead of eating chicken thighs, you eat chicken breasts. Instead of eating 80-20 beef, you eat 90-10 beef. You just want to look for the leaner versions of what you already eat, and these little alternative switches make you feel like you're not even on a diet. More home-cooked meals, definitely going to help out. You don't know, when you're eating out, you don't know what's in the foods. They could be covered in oils, dressings, sauces, butters. You don't even know what's in there, right? And if you do eat out, ask for those things to be put on the side, and you can always share dessert. So that's a way you can decrease the amount of calories coming in. Now, how do you increase the amount of calories being expended out? 7 to 9 hours of quality sleep. Why does sleep matter for getting energy out? Because lack of sleep affects how moody you are the next day, how tired you are the next day, your hormones, dopamine, leptin, ghrelin, testosterone, cortisol, all these have a certain effect on your mood and your metabolism and your body's regulation of just how everything is going on. So want to make sure that you knock out 7 to 9 hours of high quality sleep. That's not 7 hours in bed. Okay, there's a difference there because it takes you about 10, 20, 30 minutes to fall asleep. You wake up in the middle of the night. So 7 hours at least of high quality sleep. Building muscle mass with 3 to 4 days of strength training, 45 to 75 minutes per day. That's useful because it keeps your metabolism high again, and to make sure you lose body fat for fuel because you give your body a sign that, hey, I don't want to lose muscle. I want to keep the muscle on, and I want to lose body fat. Because the worst thing that can happen is you start losing weight, but you start losing muscle, and your body fat remains the same. You want to control your stress levels. If cortisol is high, it's not going to help you out a lot when it comes to fat loss, and we'll get into how to control all these factors. Eating a high protein, high fiber diet is going to help you stay full, stay satiated, stay sane, as well as keep burning calories throughout the day because protein fiber, it actually takes a lot of energy for it to break down those two nutrients. And then adding more physical activity throughout your day, which one's something that's up to your preference, something that's enjoyable, something that's low fatigue psychologically and or physically, because you're already fatiguing yourself when it comes to being in a caloric deficit. You're already fatiguing yourself when it comes to strength training in the gym. You have other stress factors going on. What's work, life, relationships. The last thing you want to do is add a bunch of stress by doing morning runs that are just boom, 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 boom on your joints, on your knees, on your ankles, on your hips. You definitely can. You definitely can. But I find that not a lot of people actually enjoy that. And when I tell them like, hey, you don't actually have to go on runs to lose weight, they're like, oh, I just won't. I'll do something else.